Welcome to an overview of the Instructional Technology Building Coach meeting from October 29th, 2014. I'm Jen Vincent, Coordinator of Instructional Technology, and I'm going to share the ideas that we covered at our meeting on October 29th for Instructional Technology Building Coaches. Farah sent you a bunch of resources, different links and attachments for you to access. One of the links should take you to our shared Instructional Technology Building Coaches folder. She might have sent you the link for tinyurl.com U46 ITBC 2014. So if you click on that, make sure that you're logged into your Google Drive. Up here in the top right hand corner, it should tell you if you need to log in. Go ahead and log in. It might say open in Drive or add to Drive. If it says add to Drive, click on it, and then it should say open in Drive. So we add it to our Drive, and then we'll be able to open it in Drive, and you should have access to this then anytime going forward. You'll just find it in your Drive. Click on the folders, add it to your Drive, open it in your Drive, and then I've organized things a bunch of different ways. We have agendas, cluster folders, pits and peaks, the resources from this meeting. Go ahead and click on the cluster folder, and then Farah should have attached a list of the clusters so you know which cluster your school falls into. And then go ahead and click on your cluster and you'll have resources to the meeting in there as well. So the agenda is there if you want to look at that. Go ahead and open the presentation, and then you can follow along with me as I go through everything here. And then when you get to the slide, you'll have access to the links that are live so that you can click and follow along with me. So this is our Instructional Technology Building Coach meeting. Welcome and introductions. I introduced myself. I'm Jen Vincent, Coordinator of Instructional Technology. I was presenting with Brian Lindholm, who does special projects in information services, Farah Silverberg, who's working out of my office in Instructional Technology, and then Jen Podrowski, who is a 6th grade teacher at Sunnydale, and also a member of our Instructional Technology Leadership Committee. We reviewed norms for the meeting. We shared outcomes according to our agenda to introduce the role of Instructional Technology Building Coach, to discuss how we can foster a growth mindset, and then we shared the U46 social media rollout. Just to get things started by way of introduction, we shared pits and peaks, and this is something that we'll do at every meeting. So whatever cluster you're in, go ahead and click open the document that relates to you for pits and peaks, and you'll find your line, or choose a line for yourself. You might need to add a row. And then pits are things that are not going so great right now in terms of technology, and peaks are things that are going really great with technology. So you're able to share any frustrations that you might be having right now, but then also some celebrations, and we find this is a nice way to just be able to give information about what's not going so great, but then at the same time being able to celebrate and share any successes that we have. So this is something we'll do at the very beginning of every meeting going forward. Then we switched to discussing the Instructional Technology Building role, and you were sitting with your cluster teams. So we clustered schools based on feeder pattern in the hopes that you all can work together in providing professional development to teachers in the future. So based on your cluster team you sat with, then we looked at the Instructional Technology Building Coach role. So you have the job description and opportunity to review that. And then back in this folder, you should have your job description sort. So we use Google Drawing. So for this activity, we use Google Drawing to create a sort, and then each cluster sat down in Each cluster sat down in small groups to decide where they would place different pieces from the job description. So you can see how these were all kind of in the middle here, and then they had a discussion and moved things left or right depending on which column they thought they fell into. And this was a good discussion to clarify what things fall under the role of the ITBC versus what things don't fall under your role, and this is a good conversation that you might want to have with your administrators. But if you have any questions or want help clarifying things for your administrator, please let me know. Basically, what we'd like you to understand is that we're really supporting teachers to integrate technology into their teaching, and more of the things that are technical fall really back to information services. So that brings up my next slide on the technical side of things. If it's a technical concern, please refer people to information services, whether you're tech in the building or calling the help desk. So you can email the help desk, you can call 4295, or there is an online ticket form. And we're trying to encourage people to fill out the online ticket form instead of emailing help desk, just because it's an extra step. But it seems like the best way to get support is to call 4295 if you can. If you have more of an instructional concern, then teachers or you can contact myself, and my secretary is Erica Sanchez if you want support. Some people ask questions about the SAM-R model. They noticed that in the job description, so I just wanted to share quickly the SAM-R model. SAM-R stands for Substitution, Augmentation, Modification, and Redefinition, and this is a model for looking at how we're integrating technology into education. So you can integrate at different levels or different phases, and some people jump to different levels and other people move through these one by one. So substitution is when we substitute technology for something that you could do with paper and pencil, but now you're doing it on the technology. Augmentation is when you are starting to get a little bit more feedback, or things are more efficient because you're on the technology. So for example, kids playing a game where they get to know whether they got something right or wrong, and getting stars or some kind of a celebration on the screen would be augmentation. Modification is when kids are starting really to create and collaborate and work together, but to produce something. And then redefinition is moving towards creating and collaborating, but also publishing and sharing things on the web outside of the classroom. So think of that as how technology can break down the four walls that we have with the classroom. So our goal is to move towards redefining teaching and learning with teachers and helping them see how they might integrate technology, but reintegrate it at the level of R, according to the SAM-R model. So we'll discuss this more, but we just wanted to make sure everybody had an awareness of what the SAM-R model is, and you can Google that and search for more information. Speaking of Googling things, we wanted to share this idea of the growth mindset. It's important for us to have a growth mindset when it comes to technology, but also to model and encourage this for others as well. So this is based off of the work of Carol Dweck and her book Mindset, and this infographic shows you the difference between being in a fixed mindset versus being in a growth mindset. So again, we want to model this and help others see how there's just no way that there's no way possible to know everything there is to know about technology, so we want people to see that we're willing to learn and try and continue to develop our skills, but that we also believe that they can learn more about technology themselves. So I had created a haiku deck to show you the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Many people have heard of Prezi and use Prezis to present. Haiku deck is just another presentation tool. I really love it because it's very image-based and visual, and you rely on pictures to tell the story, but whoever is presenting has to, first of all, know their information well enough to build images that make sense, but then also to be able to relay the information. So here's my haiku deck on the growth mindset. So in adopting the growth mindset, we are able to grow. Some people, though, are in a fixed mindset. So when it comes to challenges in a fixed mindset, you're not even willing to take on a challenge because you don't know if you're going to be successful or not, and so it's not worth it to you that you might fail. Versus someone in a growth mindset is willing to accept challenges. Someone who encounters obstacles in a fixed mindset might give up and not persist through those, versus someone in a growth mindset will continue to look for other options and ways they can get around those obstacles, especially when it comes to technology. If you get stuck trying to do something, we troubleshoot and try to come up with a different way, or we Google to try to figure out other examples. So someone in a growth mindset perseveres and gets through those obstacles. In terms of effort, in the fixed mindset, feel like if you even have to put in effort, that you have already failed, versus someone in a growth mindset, the effort is worthwhile to them because they know they're going to learn from the effort that they're putting into learning and trying something new. In terms of criticism, someone in a fixed mindset sees criticism negatively and it reflects badly upon themselves and who they are, versus someone in a growth mindset sees criticism as a way to learn and grow and sees it more as being constructive versus being negative. In a fixed mindset, when you see the success of others, you feel as though there's a reason why they're able to do it and you're not able to do it, or you see that as not being motivated, versus someone in a growth mindset sees that and is very motivated, thinking, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. And it helps them know that they can try and it's worthwhile for them. As a result, when you're in a fixed mindset, you aren't really able to maximize your potential as far as how much you can learn, because you just don't even try and you don't feel like there's the opportunity to grow. Versus being in a growth mindset, you really are able to grow and far surpass people who are in a fixed mindset, because you have that lens of knowing that you're able to grow and learn more. So we really do want to share this with teachers and help them know that when it comes to technology, we're there to help them, that they can learn, that it's worth putting the effort into, because the more they practice, the easier it's going to get. But we know this is not easy. Keeping that growth mindset and encouraging teachers isn't always easy. And so what we want you to do is create a growth mindset mantra. Come up with some kind of phrase or expression that's going to help you anytime you might feel like people are in a fixed mindset and it's pulling you down. So here are two examples. Take one step at a time, or even baby steps move you in the right direction. So we're going to ask that you go to recitethis.com, come up with your own growth mindset mantra and type it into recitethis.com. Along the bottom, you can choose different options for your template and what it's actually going to look like, and then go ahead and click the button Create. After it loads, you'll see where it says download image. There are 6 options, and you click download image, and then you can upload that to the growth mindset mantras folder. So you would, once you go through that, come back to here in our Google Drive. Here's the growth mindset mantras. You would just click the red button to upload the file from wherever you saved it, and then you'll see that we have some different examples of mantras that have been loaded already. So those are some examples of growth mindset mantras that we can share and go back to as we continue with this work. The next thing that we shared at the meeting was the social media rollout, and this is information that we are asking the instructional technology building coaches share with their staff. We have a handout for you to give to teachers, but then also for yourself to help talk through the process. And those can be found back in our Google Drive folder. One is a social media handout, and this is the one that you can share with your staff. That explains the board policy, it talks about the social media guidelines, and then it explains the web publishing process. It gives some history information about where all of this came from and why we are doing this. And then you'll notice that there are directions for the instructional technology building coach. So we ask that you find time to talk to your building at one of your staff meetings. You can connect with your principal and your SIP team to find a date and time that works for them. You'll be introducing yourself as an instructional technology building coach, talking about how staff can contact you, and then also sharing the social media guidelines and the web publishing process. And the goal really is to encourage teachers to use social media, but at the same time help them know and understand what our board policy is and what they need to be aware of in terms of different laws, to be able to protect themselves and to encourage students, but also to help students as well. So when you're presenting to staff, you'll ask for time, again, at the staff meeting. You can share the other document with them, or you can share either of these as well. And then you'll share the social media and board policy guidelines video, so you can get to that here from this link. This is also on the Instructional Technology website and on the intranet. You can share the board policy with them.
School District U46 has developed a board policy, guidelines for social media use, and a web publication application process.
So you can go ahead and share this with them, show it to them so that they understand the process. And then afterwards, teachers are asked to fill out this form to show that they've watched the video. And we have a web publishing process and checklist for teachers. Excuse me, it's a proposal and checklist. So that link will take you to the intranet. You just have to log in, and then it takes you directly to the forms that we have. So we have a web publishing proposal and checklist. This is to be filled out if teachers are interested in using social media, and it talks them through ideas that they need to be aware of and to make sure that they abide by. And then they will share that with their principal, send it to me, and then they can share that with parents and send that home with their permission slip for making sure that it's okay for kids to participate in social media or blogging or whatever they're doing with publishing information to the web. Then it talks through the rest of the steps here about how this is exactly how they would do that. And then they just have to make sure that they keep track of those permission slips, just like they would for field trips or anything else that they collect permission slips for. So the video you have access to here. And we have some questions about the social media rollout, so we will be sharing a form where if teachers have questions or they want more specific information about what counts or what doesn't count and what they can do, they can complete this form, and someone from the Instructional Technology Leadership Team will help support them and talk them through the process. So that will be also in the information that we share out. As far as next steps, we ask that you find time at a staff meeting to introduce yourself as the Instructional Technology Building Coach and how teachers can ask you for support. We like you to share the social media and web publishing process with your staff, and then conduct a needs assessment and bring your findings to your January meeting. So in terms of a needs assessment, it's up to you how you want to do that. You might do a Google form, you might collect information at a staff meeting, you might have discussions with teachers, completely up to you. We do have a sample of a Google form that you can use if you'd like. You can go ahead and open this form, go to File, make a copy, and then you can change the name so it reflects your school, and you can bring that with you in January. But we do ask that you bring any information that you collect with you so that we can really look at what types of professional development we might offer to teachers and how you might better support teachers. And then we just had an exit slip. So this is a Google form exit slip, so if you'd like to complete this now, you may, and just click on the link and it will take you right there to the exit slip. Thank you for watching this overview of the October 29th Instructional Technology Building Coach meeting. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, jennifervincent@u46.org, or Farrah Silverberg, and her email is farrahsilverberg@u-46.org. Thank you so much.